Today on The Explainer, we are digging into a real mystery, how a single Japanese TV show from the 1980s became a global obsession. And the answer? Well, it's not just in the plot. It's in a kind of secret emotional language hidden deep inside the story, a pattern that let it connect with millions of people all across the planet.
I mean, just think about it. How did a story that is so specifically about life in early 20th century Japan manage to captivate millions in places as different as Iran, Egypt, Peru, and Cuba? What was its secret language? What was the secret sauce?
And to really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. In Japan, Oshin hit a peak audience share of 62.9%. That is staggering. That's not just a popular TV show. We're talking about a full-on national event, a story that it felt like literally everyone was watching.
So let's start there. Section 1. How exactly did this one show conquer the world?
So what made it so incredibly compelling? Well, the answer really begins with its hero, Shin Tanokura, but the world knows her as Oshin. And this isn't some quick 10-episode series. We're talking about nearly 300 episodes where we watch her entire life unfold, from a dirt-poor little girl in rural Japan all the way to becoming a successful elderly woman. It's this absolutely epic story of one single, determined life, defined almost entirely by struggle and resilience.
So let's dig into that a little deeper. Section 2. Charting a life of struggle. What's so fascinating is that if you look closely, you can actually see her life as a series of waves. In her childhood, the waves are sharp, they're frequent, just these intense, constant survival struggles, one right after another. Then, in adolescence, the waves get a little longer, a little smoother, as she learns skills and adapts. But then, midlife hits, and wow, she's hit by these deep, devastating valleys of loss, from war, from family tragedy. Finally, as an elderly woman, the waves are much calmer, but you can still feel the echoes, the ripples of everything she's been through. And this really gets to the core of it all. For Oshin, hardship wasn't just a thing that happened to her sometimes. As the quote says, it was a constant companion. It was literally the fabric of her life. It was always there, just changing its form. So why do we connect with this pattern so deeply? Well, that brings us to Section 3, the science of connection.
There's this really fascinating theory that helps explain it. It's a model called stress-straining waves. And the basic idea is that a story's emotional rhythm, its cycles of pressure, response, and release, can actually resonate with the stress patterns in our own lives. It's almost like emotional tuning forks. Oshin's story strikes a very specific chord, and we start to vibrate right along with it.
And if you want to break these waves down, they really have two simple properties. You've got amplitude, which is just the intensity of the hardship, the difference between losing your car keys and losing a loved one. And then there's frequency, which is how often those hardships hit. Oshin's story is an absolute masterclass in using both.
Okay, so what gives these waves their emotional power? It's the universal themes. You can think of them like emotional conductors, like power lines. The theme of survival that carries feelings of pure necessity and fear. Family duty carries love. These themes are what give the waves all their meaning, and they're what fuel Oshin's incredible, unbelievable persistence.
Which brings us to our final section, and how this all creates a truly universal language of resilience.
This is exactly why Oshin's story travels so well. The wave pattern, it becomes a kind of emotional Esperanto. Because struggle and loss and the fight for dignity are things every single one of us understands, it's a language anyone from any culture can instinctively get. It just bypasses all the specific details and speaks directly to our shared human experience. And once you see this pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. Think of the American series Made with its constant waves of poverty and motherhood, or the massive South Korean hit Me Sing with its stressful rhythms of just trying to survive in the corporate world. Even the Australian drama Red Fur Now uses it to explore systemic injustice. They all speak the same powerful language of resilience. So, we'll leave you with this to think about. Consider the stories that have moved you the most. The books, the films, the shows that you just can't shake. What did their waves look like? And how do they echo the rhythm of your own life?